really good, especially on hard mode.
All
Okay,
right.
so yeah, we really do need to kick into D&D because I need to go to bed in like an hour.
Yep,
Okay.
that's why we're switching. All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Powerless, brought to you by AE&D. I'm your host, E17, and we have the man bear playing frequency
It's
and
me.
our wonderful DM Donnie Danger.
Hey, hey.
Um, if I remember correctly, we finally got out of the sewers so we can breathe some fresh air. But don't let me tell you. I'll let Donnie Danger give you the details on that one.
It was not the sewers, it was a disused subway system. And with that, let's get on with the last time on Powerless. Our heroes finished off the giant mech, Spider Mech. Afterwards, Sparkstorm discussed some things with the moderator who fought by his side. The moderator was a powerful swordsman named Zanacht, who was tasked with the extermination of these bugs. He explained that the swarm was thought to have been the one that broke through the western gate, although no giant one was detected, which Zanacht had no explanation for. He also stated that he had no duty to destroy outsiders and was not obligated to fight our heroes, though he heavily insisted that they head to customs so that they could be handled by a moderator whose jurisdiction was dealing with them. That being said, Zanacht was grateful for their aid, and after Sparkstorm convinced him that he didn't kill Hotep, another moderator who died, Zanacht decided that he would put in a good word for our heroes. After this, Frequency and Sparkstorm finally arrived to the pristine and mysterious capital of Duat. And here we are. You guys are emerging from the subway. So, right where I'm blipping, kind of see like upon the horizon this giant white sparkly metropolis. You're walking along kind of like a cool looking digitized bridge that's coming from the subway. It was kind of a dingy subway too. It didn't look at all like the city did.
Okay. Well,
And
just kind of
so,
keep walking.
okay, as you guys are walking, you do see
Are we walking with the other ones?
oh yeah, that's right. You guys came with survivors, and thank you for reminding me, 'cause I do often forget these little guys.
Are they really called
They're very
survivors?
grateful. These little fellas, these rapscallions. Um,
We're here.
yeah, place yourselves there. This is near the end of the bridge going into the city. Um, Let me get to the survivors. Um, so each of the nomads, the little guys with the cloaks on them, uh, they each graciously walk up to you. Thank you for getting through that in one piece. Getting us through that in one piece. Please accept this. We really don't have that much on us. Um, and they each give you $200.
Put it in my pocket. I don't want to say a word. Just take it. Put it in my pocket.
I
Split
I
it.
I go. I'm like, no, it's fine. You can keep that. You were just along for the ride. Uh, we had our own reasons of getting here. I'm just glad that you guys were able to protect yourselves.
Huh. One of the nomads pockets it. The one that was talking to you, he says, maybe word on the street was true. You guys aren't just travelers. Maybe you're heroes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
He looks at you. Whoa.
And I keep walking.
Huh. Well, they all keep walking too. They really only have one way to go, and that's further into the city. By the way, one of them asked, "You guys actually going to go to that customs office that guy was yelling about?" Tell ya, I'm not.
I check my watch and I'm like, Yeah, I'm not sure if I have time for that.
Yeah, yo, screw that guy. He was just trying to get us out of here. As soon as anybody walks through some customs office, they're gonna toss us back out in that desert. Then we'll probably be mopped up by some Terminator squad. In
Uh,
other words, it's a death sentence.
that is possible.
Yeah. So none of them are interested in actually going through any office. Whether you do or not, that's on you. Um, you see that as you go further into the city. Let me get some music going. It is eerily quiet. You do see some people walking across the street as you start to approach the city. You see statues of this giant, uh, jackal-like figure in armor. It looks very well, this one seems to be covered in some sort of tarp, and this one over here looks like it was vandalized. Like somebody tried melting it down, which is weird because everything else in the city is pristine. There's no graffiti anywhere. There's no signs of littering, property damage, or anything. So it's strange that this statue on display seems to have been damaged and defaced.
Well, we wouldn't know that because we're still on the bridge, right?
You're exiting the bridge. I guys kind of put you guys at the end of the bridge going into the city.
Wait, which is the city?
North.
Okay. Yeah. I want to stop and look at the melted one.
As you walk up to the melted one, you see it clearly seems to have wings, but if you want to roll a perception check, maybe you'll glean a little bit more details.
Why not? A 6. I see that it's shiny.
You can tell it's also supposed to wear armor, but the armor is so melted it almost looks like skin. But that's about all you can see.
Okay.
Frequency, are you all curious about the statue?
Melted one? No. I'm eyeing this one. I'm guessing it's Lord Anubis, the dickbag we're going to be hunting, so I'm looking at it to wonder if that's actually... Because I'm wondering if that's actually his likeness, and if I can glean anything from it, or if it's just, ego.
Well, roll a perception check.
That's skill, right?
Yes.
21.
Okay. So you notice quite a few things as you go up to approach the statue and look upon it. You do see that there was a statue in its place that seems to have been broken down. The statue was built over it. You also notice that this statue doesn't look like well, you haven't seen or heard of what Anubis's likeness is, but something definitely seems off about this thing. It seems a bit too grandiose, a bit too regal. It seems too dignified to be real in your eyes, and you can't really put your finger on why. You can tell that this wasn't always here. Something was recently destroyed to put it here.
No, glad to know I know some stuff.
While he's in that, I want to walk up next to him. And I want to look at the statue to try to talk to him about it. And I'm hoping I fail. Oh. I rolled a 22.
How are you hoping you'd fail?
Just to be like, that's a sharp weapon there, ain't it?
Ah, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, you notice all the same things he did.
I asked him, like, so how recently do you think this was taken down or replaced?
You asked me?
Yeah.
I kind of spaced. What did I see?
You see that a statue is recently destroyed where the Anubis statue is standing. And since your perception check is high enough, and given the information you have on hand, you know Anubis hasn't been in cyberspace for a very long time, despite everybody kind of believing he's been in power for just about forever.
Basically, it's a tyrannical takeover. This guy is blowing up other people's statues, putting his up instead to make it look like he's their god. And apparently, he's doing a good job of it.
I go, yeah, I got that. How recently do you think this was? It looks like about a month ago.
Not too long ago.
Maybe a year ago. Somewhere in there.
I'd say probably more than a year. He does seem to have power over their memories, but this amount of work would take more than a year. This amount of infiltration, maybe half a decade.
Alright, that's not that new then.
Upon stating that, you do also realize that time in cyberspace does move differently, which is kind of an ambiguous tidbit of information you have. So you say that knowing that.
Alright, I started thinking of a calculator, of a time calculator, to comprehend it better.
I just said it moves differently.
That's fine.
Don't read terribly far into that.
I just started trying to calculate the time difference. Like, okay, a year in my world equals 2.52 years in this world. No, a year in my world equals 0.334 in this world. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to calculate how long, like in time that, because I'm familiar with time in like my world setting, but like don't really know time in this world yet. So I'm trying to figure that out. Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
that's something we would have to actually maybe discuss with some of the higher ups, like Gizmo Girl, if her memories have been unlocked, and
Yes, definitely. There's still a lot you guys don't know about how this place operates. Frequency. Since you do have a gridometer, you also did get a little email.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention I was going to give it to you last session.
Yeah.
It's from Gadget Man. He's basically saying he thinks he found a way into cyberspace. He will try to meet you in the capital.
I asked him if he rescued Brick or whatever his name is.
Brick.
Mr. Blank?
Yeah. The
What?
guy I turned into a manservant.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's Mr. Blank.
He says infiltrating a force facility currently. I will try to break him free en route to the cyberspace entrance.
Okay. Don't come unless you rescue him. I send that in all capitals. Do not come unless you rescue him, or you will be stabbed.
He just responds with typical Gadget Man, the mission above all else.
Then I'm going to use my power of freedom. Free your trapped little brain and watch it fry.
He'll do that over email.
No, I'm sending this to him.
Oh,
That's my reply to his mission over everything else. If he shows up without Mr. Blank, I will use my power of freedom, free his trapped little brain, and watch it fry. And I won't hold back like I did with all the others. I will push this shit through his brain circuits.
he just responds with a ...
Like cat scratch. Wait, are they emailing or IMing?
Apparently, both.
It seems instant. There's gridometers. They're ahead of their time.
It started with the Outlook email, and then you just kind of merged it into a Teams message.
I wasn't going to keep going, but I don't know. It happened.
You click the open in Teams and started sending a nasty worded message back.
Um, there are a few other things, but we'll get to that later. There's I'll just say there's an email that's being de-encrypted right now on your gridometer frequency. That one's an old one. You're responding to an old message, I'll say.
Okay.
There's a more recent one that's de-encrypting.
Oh, I forgot my glass. Whatever.
So okay. So you guys do see that there's actually a doorway to a customs office. And I will say you guys are in a part of the city where you do see kind of like bushes to the side. You are on streets. You are not on a bridge. There are buildings to the left and right of you. The bushes, the plant life, you don't even have to roll a perception check. There's clearly something wrong with it. It doesn't seem like alive.
I'm gonna go poke it.
You walk up to the plant and you poke it and your finger kind of passes through the leaves.
I knew it. Can I pick up the pot?
It's planted into the ground.
Oh.
Hold on. Let me kind of reveal this area to you. So you guys can kind of see what things look like.
Boom.
So if you scroll up, you'll see kind of an overview of the city.
Oh.
And you see the arena sitting near the end of the street.
I want to ask, hey, freak, let me see the computer.
Toss him the gridometer.
Okay. Do that.
Since my screen thing doesn't work, I want to try analyzing it with the gridometer, see what options it gives me.
You're trying to analyze what with the gridometer?
The plant.
Okay.
See what kind, like, if I can see what kind of coding is behind it.
The gridometer does have a scanning feature. It's yours, so you don't have to roll to figure out how it works or how to access it. So turn it on, and it starts scanning the foliage, and you see that the only thing that's real is the branches, the root system. And by real, I mean it's mechanical, and it's projecting a little kind of like a false projection of leaves around it.
Oh. Can I find anywhere to plug it in?
The gridometer?
Yeah. Like, is there any ports or anything on these, or are they just...
It doesn't seem to be any ports. It seems to actually be rooted directly into the ground. The gridometer does, during its little scanning function, does seem to ascertain that the energy for pretty much all of these structures, at least the ones in your immediate vicinity, are below ground.
Okay, so the couple near me, while we're walking, I'm gonna take a pause at a couple like different types of trees and bushes, and I want to just create schematics using the gridometer like as kind of like an X-ray tool of sort, and I want to like try to take schematics on how they're built.
Okay. The gridometer actually says, warning, cannot access classified features. Gain admin permission first.
Okay, I want to do like the outline, and are we talking admin on the gridometer?
No, it's talking about somebody with permissions. Is basically saying you don't have permission to scan this stuff or know how this stuff works. Find the person who built built the gridometer, and they can override it.
Okay, so it's a gridometer I need admin access to. Got it.
Yep.
All right, at that instance, I want to toss it back to um frequency, and I kind of want to go up to one of the little trees in that, and just like snap one of the branches off.
Okay. As soon as you walk up to the tree and you snap off a twig of the branch,
But I do
you
want to
see
check to see if anyone's watching beforehand. I will say that.
there's nobody around. This place
Oh,
has
okay.
been
Then fuck yeah.
dead, despite being like a seeming metropolis.
Yeah.
You break off a piece of it, and it is metallic, but it is also seemingly brittle, since it's trying to mimic a living structure. As you hold it in your hand, it instantly dematerializes in under a second, and you see the part of the branch that you broke off just reform.
That's interesting.
Interesting. Can I? Okay, it's now I'm using skills of sorts. Can I sense enchantment?
Is that a skill, or are you just doing that?
I'm trying to find recipes, right?
Yeah, you could use your enchantment skill to sense enchantments, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you could totally do that.
All right. What modifier do I have? I don't know my modifier.
Where's your... Let's see if we can find your enchanting skill.
Oh, Dualium enchanting 1 out of I don't know. It should be 3 out of I don't know, but like.
Okay. Alright. I'll say it's a +0 for now. Get it to 5. 3 out of 5.
Well, 15.
Okay. So you do see that, you do notice with your dualium chanting, this thing does seem to be like highly enchanted dualium. Not just pure dualium, it seems to have enchantment stacked on enchantment to such a point that it should be glitching out. But it seems very stable, surprisingly.
Hmm. Right. I'm gonna do
You
something.
know, the least that there are multiple lines of code embedded onto all the foliage around it.
Yeah, so it's probably not one enchantment. It's probably multiple enchantments stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to take my like enchanted tomahawk, just in case it gets stuck. And I don't want to cut off a branch. I kind of want to slice it down the side and like go in to like split in half, hoping that it won't trigger like the repair part of it immediately since it's still attached. So I'm gonna like cut it like down the branch to the base so that like the branch kind of just splits like this.
It's like what?
It like
Do that.
splits. It just like the branch just like splits apart,
Okay.
and so like
Okay, roll a strength check. Or fortitude check, I'll say.
that's even worse. Actually, not really. A 12.
Okay, so you're not really He-Man, but you do strike down with it on one of the smaller segments of plant life, so you can actually get that split. And it's not the sturdiest stuff, so you get a little bit in. And you notice that there's kind of like a glow, a very lively glow within it and underneath it. But immediately your axe seems to be pushed out and it starts to kind of reform very quickly. It's not like a shot out, you're just getting pushed out. With a force that you can't really resist.
Yeah, I'm not Am I able to like add to the schematics at all of what I've witnessed? In the I know it's going to be like within like 2 seconds, but like
Say
with
roll
my
a
with my
like you have.
engineering with my engineering skill as high as it is, a 14 plus whatever modifier you want to give me.
Okay. So I will say right away, you don't know how to build anything like this yet. Um, you know that this thing doesn't have schematics like the other things you have studied. It's not composed of parts. It is mostly composed of um, lines of code, enchantments. So once you do fully have this thing analyzed, you might have the enchantments that this thing is built with understood. Doesn't mean that you'll know how to apply those enchantments before studying them.
That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, at work, I don't know how half the shit that I like design works. I just design it and someone else figures it out.
Okay, so I'll do. Yeah, I hear that. Let me go to recipes and just put down. Yeah. Okay. 14. Okay. Okay, so yeah, you learned a little bit more about this just by peeling it open and looking at it.
Okay.
Ew.
I'm satisfied in knowing that knowledge.
Okay. And with that, you do notice that there is a street sign saying customs this way, arena north.
I assume at this point, catch it back up with frequency.
Yeah.
I've honestly just been, watching Chadwick experiment. I had really nothing else to do until we decided to move on.
You guys are free to discuss what to do next. The guys that you were traveling with do seem to just be heading towards the arena.
That's where we gotta go, so might as well head that way.
Alright.
Yeah, I want to head to the arena.
As you guys continue heading north, you do approach this big old structure, and there does seem to be kind of like a tunnel of sorts, kind of like a funnel built around it. Just say like there's a structure underneath that it doesn't look quite like this. There's kind of like architecture built around this
It's
thing.
more like a pedestal.
Yeah. And there's an entranceway that you have to go to in order to kind of reach the building as a whole. And you do see somebody kind of standing by, greeting anybody who might be passing by. Welcome to the arena. Care to purchase tickets? The guy says, a little too cheerfully.
I believe we're expected here. There should be some tickets on will call for us.
Roll call? Let me just check the bookings. What is your name, sirs?
What's the scientist that we interrupted at the mega robot?
Oh, Dr. Malice.
Was it Malice? That doesn't sound right.
Are you talking about Alloy Man? Oh, Ramses. I thought you were
Yes.
talking about when you're fighting Alloy Man.
No. I go Dr. Ramsey.
You are Dr. Ramsey?
Yeah.
You are not Dr. Ramses, he says without even looking at the bookings list. Dr. Ramses is already in attendance.
I look at frequency. I'm like, Am I already in attendance?
Apparently that's what this dude said.
There must be some sort of mistake.
Indeed, there must be some sort of mistake on your part. You are not Ramses.
You're wrong about that one.
Roll bluff check.
I want to call his bluff. Am I like level 20 in this yet?
You're pretty high.
I don't know. I haven't been adding. Oh, okay. I'll take this bonus. I'm gonna need it. A 25.
He looks at you and he looks at the bookings, and he kind of grimaces. He looks like he's in pain. Kind of like he's being shocked somewhere. He's just like, and then he returns to his perkiness. And he's like, "Please stand by. I will return once I find out the identity of the imposter within."
Hold on. You're not okay.
So I am okay. I'm here to
No.
greet anybody.
No, I mean that with dire certain, like, I mean that for the best of you with dire certainty. Like, can I look at you?
I'm right here. You are free to gaze upon me.
I meant like really look at you. Like open, like look inside you.
His eye kind of twitches, and you almost see like a teardrop of oil come out of his eye, and he kind of just like approaches you.
I want to analyze him.
Roll engineering d20.
Oh my. Oh hey, that needs to level up. I'm at 32 out of 25 right now.
That does need to level up.
21 anyways.
You see that he does seem similar to many of the citizens of Duet you've seen so far. Aside from the squeaky clean clothing and the unblemished disposition that he has, all the other people being kind of grungy. This guy looks very clean, very perfect, but you can tell just by looking at him, a lot of his parts are under strain, as if some of his tissue and components have been fighting against each other. Almost as if every movement that he conducts, everything that he does, is almost facing some sort of resistance.
Can I tell what the resistance is from?
Not from engineering. I don't know what role that would be.
Can I power him off?
No, he's not like a normal machine. He is like kind of a person. These Duet androids can't just be turned off.
I thought they had
no,
a battery power on, or battery cell on them.
Yeah, I was going to say, you do know that they do have power cells on them, which you could remove. And they do have autonomous power for a certain duration. Some of them. But yeah, I mean, you could search for that power cell.
Can I find it without hurting him?
With the soldiers, the power cell was kind of like at the base of their neck under some of their armor, and the armor was designed to be removed to do so. You would have to be able to remove this guy's clothes to do that. Or at least his shirt.
I want to get to as close where it might be. And I want to go to the guy. I'm like, all right, this may sting a bit, but you have you have a short in your system.
Before you do anything, as you do touch him, it just says, warning, Security will be called within 10 seconds. Cease contact immediately.
All right. I focus all I can into absorb energy on his back, and as I'm doing this, I say, "Let's go, frequency." Or let's go, Fran. Wait, Frank. Let's go, Frank. And we walk
Kind
in.
of glare. I give the guy that he was trying to poke and prod, and I glare at him like he did something wrong. Not that Sparkstorm did anything wrong by trying to completely and totally invade this guy's personal space. I glare at him like he did something wrong.
I mean, I honestly was trying to help him.
And then I walk.
And start heading down the hallway just before he completely shuts off. You almost hear you do see him kind of like fall on his knees, and you hear loud sobbing for about 3 seconds. That's all it takes for him to kind of like break down in tears before completely powering down.
Cool.
As you guys are heading down the hallway of the arena, you do see that this hallway has dressing rooms to the left, locker rooms to the right. There is nobody that you see. And at the very end, you do see a light seeming to come from the very center of the arena itself.
I go to I go to Manbear. I'm like, hey, do we want to change our clothes?
Maybe.
Maybe like we belong.
I've never really tried to fit in.
I want to dip into
like,
one of the dressing rooms.
I'm I'm throwing because I've never really tried to be camouflage like, so I'm kind of looking at him as he dips into a dressing room after making that suggestion, and I'm like, do I follow or do I just stick to my guns? I decide, you know what? It's better if one of us is obvious and the other one is camouflage, because then I could draw attention and he could sneak into places. So I stay in the hallway and I wait.
Okay. As you're standing in the hallway frequency, I'll get to you, Sparkster, right away. You see that the other guys behind you, the little caravaneers, kind of like scuttling along towards the inner arena. They're like, "Thanks for the distraction. Didn't need a ticket at all. Not that I think I could have afforded one."
Oh.
And the other one remarks, "Maybe I'll get front row seats." Only 2 came in. The other one's screwing off somewhere in the city.
Okay.
Sparkstorm, as you head inside the locker room, you do see, again, it's pristine like everything else, except some of the lockers actually seem like they've seen some use, and you do hear kind of like a shuffling around, coming around the corner. As you walk in, it's not immediately like an open room. There are some twists and turns, and there is a corner blocked by some lockers taking up the middle interior of the room. You do hear sounds coming from the back of the room.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Being a dressing room, I look around to see that they have like a rack of like clothing or outfits.
There do seem to be some outfits kind of draped over the benches. Doesn't seem to be anything hung up on the walls.
Wait, is this a locker room or a dressing room?
Locker room.
Oh, I wanted to go in the dressing room.
Oh, okay. As you're about to leave, are you about to leave?
Okay. Initially, I wanted to go into the one that was labeled dressing room, not the one labeled locker room.
Ah, okay. All right, I'll just go back then. So you go into the dressing room, and you do see some people who seem to have that stiff demeanor of the person that was greeting you. You walk in, and they are kind of like staring in front of mirrors. Some of them seem to be like doing their hair. Others just seem to be standing, staring forward, looking into the mirror.
All right. So I'm gonna act like I belong here, and I'm gonna go up to one of the racks of clothing, and I want to just grab a cloak and throw that on.
They all seem to ignore you. And there is a cloak there. I would say it's intricately designed. It's not raggedy or anything. It's very lavishly embroidered.
Is there one that's not as lavish but still looking nice?
You usually see that all the cloaks in here that aren't already being worn have the visage of Anubis, kind of like printed over them.
Oh, I mean, I'll put one of those on. I don't care.
All right.
I want to just like sneakily like grab it, throw it on, throw the hood on, and start walking out.
You do that. You throw on a robe. It has Anubis's visage. Do you want to maybe like grab another?
No.
All right. You head back to the hallway with the robe. Frequency, you're still out there. Security hasn't come. Nothing's happened.
I want to like, hopefully, with the hood like up and over. It has a hood, right?
Yeah.
With like closed hood up and over. Okay, I want to sneak up to Frequency and be like, "What are you doing here?"
I want him to make a stealth check versus my perception, because I do not want to react unless I am actually scared.
That is fair.
Are you trying to be sneaky or are you trying to fool him?
Both. No, I'm
Roll
trying to fool him, but I don't want. Okay.
Stealth, then bluff.
I'm not necessarily trying to sneak on him. I'm hoping he doesn't notice me.
What do I roll to counter?
He's rolling against your checks, so let's look at your stats.
What do I roll
So-
to roll against his check?
My will save is 20.
So that's to avoid being scared. Reflex,
It is 12.
to avoid being snuck up on.
Oh, come on. High roll, high roll, high roll. 19.
He snuck up on me.
Did not scare him.
Nope.
Frequency, you have been surprised. You hear a voice behind you. I mean, yeah, you've been snuck up on.
Can I pass a? Do I have to do the bluff check now?
I thought the 19 was the bluff check.
That was a stealth check.
That is my stealth one.
Oh, well then you succeeded in sneaking up on him and surprising him. So yeah,
Well, he
roll.
snuck up on me, but now we gotta see if he actually managed to scare me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, roll.
26. God,
You
I love
scared-
these bonuses.
You little bitch. I jump a little.
A little poo comes out.
Ow.
Frequency. Frequency.
I jump a little. And I turn around, and I have my daggers drawn, because my fight or flight is always fight. And I like go to put my dagger to his chest, but then I notice it's him, and I'm like, "Oh, you little fucking dickbag!"
The moment he spins around and like is ready to stab me, I want to like just pick up my head and smile. So he just sees like I'm picturing like it's a little like hood that's like down to like just my eyes, just so like I like lift my head up and he sees my nose and my mouth and I smile.
Perfect. You pranked him.
And then I pull the hood like halfway back my head. You know, a modest location for it.
Yes.
And I say, all right, let's go.
Okay. You guys keep heading all the way down the end of the hallway. And, towards a bright light within the middle of the arena.
So, I know we really haven't done much today, but I do believe this would be a good place to call it before we get too far into this arena stuff.
It would be the perfect place to call it.
You don't want to do a little narrative of what we see when we get to the arena?
Well, the whole point of the break we're going to be taking is so he can iron everything out, so I think it would be better just to have it all in one shot.
I was just thinking, like, setting-wise.
One little glimpse into the arena, just setting-wise. As soon as you walk in, you hear a faint sounds of a guitar being strummed. And you look up and you see somebody kind of like riding on a surfboard in the middle of the arena. He looks like he's flying up to spike a ball. He's like playing a guitar while riding a surfboard as he surfboard upwards into the air, and then he comes down, he pulls his guitar and he smacks it. And you see that the guitar seems to be formed out of energy, as does a surfboard. They both fade away as he lands on the ground after spiking the ball into the score pit. He strikes a pose, and the crowd goes wild.
I'm
And
gonna
that's-
cheer just out of join the crowd.
Sigh and rub my head like I have a headache because I recognize him from my universe, and he is exactly the same as he was in my universe. So I'm just doing this like, oh my god, again.
The crowd is cheering, "Radical! Radical!"
Oh, okay.
And that's what you see.
Is that the
Immediately.
radical hunk?
Yeah.
Okay. This is tying it together now. Okay.
And anyways, next time we pick up in Powerless, we'll find out what's going on in the arena. Why is the Radical Hunk here? Who is the Radical Hunk for anybody who's never seen him or heard of him? All these answers will be resolved next time on Powerless.
Da da da.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, that's a short session, but I thought you let me go way longer with like toying and trying to investigate the guy than I thought you were going to. But you did throw me up for a loop when you just flat out was like, no. You didn't even let me roll initially for a bluff. Just like, nope.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain
Ixnay on
things
your
where-
bluff check A.
There are certain things where characters can't be bluffed because they literally are almost mechanical in some respects. Like trying to bluff a computer into thinking 2 + 2 = 5, it's
I can prove
Doesn't
to a
matter
computer
how-
that 2 + 2 = 5.
that would be an engineering check.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you know, I mean, there are some things where it's just like, depending on the NPC, some things just can't be done.
I will overcome that. But that's going to do it for today, everyone. Thanks for watching. Stop by listening. Well, that's going to do it for D&D today. So, we will pick up next week with a temporary break of Powerless where the Man Bear is going to be running a module.
5e
And-
module, good old fashioned D&D.
You know, it's not going to be called... They're not going to have editions anymore.
They're not?
Did not know that.
Wizards of the Coast, yeah, it's kind of going to be like just a rolling edition from now on. Like
Oh,
5e
like
was
5.1?
like 5e was like the last official one, but now it's going to be like you have the standard edition, and that in itself might have changes going forward, but like they're not going to release a new edition. They're just going to keep like altering what's currently the standard edition.
It's like game updates. It's going to be 5.1, 5.2.
Not
I
even
can
that.
kind of
It's
see that because you do see a lot of people are trying to like send their homebrews into Wizards and get their homebrews turned into actual like documented D&D books.
yeah.
So
It's not.
I could see that.
It's not even like 5.1, 5.2. They're just gonna have the standard edition, and then like they're just gonna update the standard edition with what essentially they feel like they have a well enough basis with this edition right now that they're just, if they're gonna tweak anything, they're just gonna tweak it and call it, all right, this is the standard now.
I kind of agree with that because everybody I know who's like new into D&D is really relieved when they find out how easy it is to build a character in 5e and just get going with that.
5e is really good for newbies, and if you're a hardcore D&D, it's not hard to find a 3.5 Pathfinder book, which is for the more hardcore, really want to dip down in stats people.
Yeah, it's just they're just like they feel like they simplified it enough, but yet have it categorized and whatever. So I know all that COVID stuff and that has helped push it that way because like so many more people played since COVID started. Because what else are they gonna do? So,
Yeah. That plus being a nerd and a geek is now becoming mainstream because you've seen movie stars and actors are going on Twitter and YouTube and playing D&D campaigns, and you're seeing it mainstreamed a lot more than it ever was. So
It's also being
Okay, boomer.
it's being destigmatized a lot because, well, before, a lot of like media was you would have to read a newspaper or watch like the local news. Now people just go online, and now it's much harder to actually apply a stigma in any community about gamers being into Satan or being violent. Gaming is normalized now. It's no longer this weird thing to do.
You
you
now
do
you
still
gotta.
see parents playing video games for their
Not,
kids being stupid.
now I need to crop some of this. No, I'm saying the way that you worded that and the way that you expressed that, Manber, like that was full on boomer mentality. Boomer.
I'm old, I know.
Jeez, you're only fucking 32.
34.
Okay, big diff. Okay, anyways, if you're here for D&D, I would rate out to Critical Role, but I'm gonna play some games. So if you're here for D&D, I hope you stick around. These two bozos are gonna be heading off to work. I don't work tomorrow, so suck it. And I'll talk to you guys later.
Talk to you later.
Later, everybody.